Okay, this is an update on things, and we're probably ready to go ahead and resume the games. Now, the problem was, first of all, the speaker on my monitor I'm using basically blew out. And I didn't discover that until recently. I went through all the settings, all of the settings for the speakers and for the sound, and I found nothing. But when I hooked up an external pair of speakers, all of a sudden I got sound. Now, the second thing that happened, I hooked up some voice capture software, which you must have turned on in order to hear your voice or record it. I did that because my voice is not too strong and it's kind of soft, so I thought if I substitute a voice, it might be more pleasing or more understandable. So I got this software, and that was part of the problem. Now, the software is still kind of irritating because it gives feedback a couple seconds after I speak the voice. So I'll probably get used to that. But then it gives me the ability to use a lot of different voices. So I don't know, I'll probably choose one of them to see if it's more understandable. But it probably won't be Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice, because his is worse than mine. So anyway, we're ready to resume, but there were a couple problems, and it's self-created. I make a lot of these voices way in advance, or sessions, recording sessions. And so, for instance, Waterloo, the Battle of Waterloo, I played the last session, which I think was 21. Well, I have already recorded 22 through 55, and 55 is the last one. The same with Gettysburg, although I've not ended that yet. The last one that was played was 26, but I have videos recorded 27 through 43. So anyway, a number of those have been affected. Now I've got 3 games I'm broadcasting, and it's a little hard to get used to this feedback, but I think I can do it. But it may sound really strange, so we'll see when I play it back. But anyway, I have 3 games going on: Battle of Gettysburg, Warplan War in Europe, and Waterloo. Now in Gettysburg, on videos 27 through 32, I lost the sound. But on videos 33 through 43, they do have sound. And I guess I'll start broadcasting them at 33. And that means you'll lose 5 videos. But that's the best I can do on that one. Now on Warplan, there are videos 19 through 23. And on 23, the game ended because we got to August 1945 and the game automatically ends. So unfortunately, all of those videos do not have sound. So what I'll do, I'll restart Warplan. Except this time I'll play the Allies. Now, I had War Games, let's see, War in Europe recorded where I did play the Allies. And I think it was about 30 recordings. And those are all without sound. Now that was an interesting game because I invaded through Spain. And the way it ended, I was up to the Belgian border in the west, and I had forced the Germans back in the east, but I could not force them out of Russia. But in the west, there was literally no opposition for me to capture Berlin. And I had already captured the oil refineries in the Ruhr. So the game was virtually over, except the Germans were holding Russia, I guess, probably 5 hexes in from the start line. And I held Leningrad, Moscow, Stalingrad, in the Caucasus. So even though they held some territory, there was no objectives held. So, like I said, I'll go on, I think, to me playing the Allies, and I'll redo the same strategy and not make some of the mistakes I made, and we'll see how that turns out. There's a lot more than I thought to playing the Allies, especially with the navies. And frankly, the Germans started to beat the crap out of me in the U-boat war. So obviously I'll approach that differently by building more stuff earlier, because they really become effective in like 1942, and they're destroying merchantmen by like crazy. So I've had to build more merchantmen and more escorts just so they don't affect British production. Now, unknown to me, the Americans also have pipelines, which I totally ignored, and in fact got so low on merchantmen that it was going to affect, I assume, their economy or maybe their deployment in Europe, because I was getting a red blinking signal on my merchant ships indicating I was too low. I never got close to being too low on the British because I started building merchant ships like crazy. And so I just averted a catastrophe because I took some action. And there's a long build on merchantmen and escorts. So if you're slow to react, you're going to suffer production losses. So anyway, we'll start that probably tomorrow, I think. And then there's the Waterloo game, and I guess I should just call them recording episodes. So I've got episodes 23 through 55, and 55 ends the game. So none of those have been affected by the sound. So I'll broadcast all of those. So I think we're pretty much all set. Now, as a side note, when I hear the rebroadcast in my microphones of my own voice slightly delayed, I hear every voice imperfection. And I guess I'll start to work on those, because there's a lot of them I'm hearing that I didn't hear when I was just broadcasting, listening to the speakers instead of both listening to the speakers and the microphones. So anyway, hopefully there'll be an improvement. And I'll have to see if I use another voice. I may do some experiments there. And it'll probably be with Warplan. So we'll see how that works. So anyway, that's the situation, and hopefully we'll go on again tomorrow.